Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Open Avenues July information session about our Global Talent Fellowship Program and to learn more about the Cap-Exempt H-1B work visa. We know that the lottery this year was incredibly frustrating for many companies, for foreign nationals, and for attorneys that are trying to find solutions for your company clients. So we're here to talk about an alternate path, and this is part-time employment with a Cap-Exempt organization. So I'm going to walk us through the challenge here about H-1Bs. We're going to talk about what a Cap-Exempt H-1B is and jump into more about Open Avenues and our program and what we offer to companies as a solution. So I will start with just a brief overview of our team and introductions. Some of you might have heard of Jeff Goldman. He is the founding father of the Cap-Exempt H-1B model that started in Massachusetts in 2014 with UMass Boston as the Cap-Exempt organization. It was a path that helped foreign national founders get companies off the ground through the Cap-Exempt H-1B model. He's also my father, and we came together to co-found Open Avenues Foundation in 2018. Open Avenues Foundation is another type of Cap-Exempt organization that we'll jump into in a few. I came from the social impact consulting space, and together we started Open Avenues Foundation. Also on this call today is Erin Carlini. She is our immigration program manager, and Amy Lucier, our new immigration program coordinator, is also here. If you do end up interacting with Open Avenues in any way, the two of them would be your points of contact. Open Avenues started as in an effort to build career pathways for everyone, no matter where they come from. And that means opening pathways for global talent to build careers in the United States, to start companies in the US, and to create economic and social impact in the United States as they contribute and as they build careers. And we know, and I know from growing up with Jeff as an immigration attorney, as a father, that foreign nationals in the US add immense amounts of impact to the daily lives of individuals, to their companies that they're building, and to the fields in which they're working. And so we are on a path to make sure that we are amplifying and catalyzing that impact, as well as creating pathways for Americans to also thrive because these foreign nationals are staying here. And so I want to start by just painting a picture of the H-1B challenge that exists today, because this is what Open Avenues solves for with our Cap-Exempt H-1B model. So the H-1B challenge today that many of you are very familiar with is that the H-1B visa is the most common work visa in the United States. There were more than 780,000 registrants from companies that wanted to apply for an H-1B for a foreign national worker. These are individuals who have at least a bachelor's degree in a field that the Department of Labor has determined is a specialty occupation. You have to be working in a job related to the degree that has been earned. And companies must demonstrate that they can pay the fair wage. But the lottery system that the United States has every year is capped at 85,000 individuals. If you have a master's degree, you're part of the first 20,000 that are picked out of the hat, but it's still randomized. It does not matter what industry you work in. It does not matter what country you are from. You are part of this randomized system, and the law hasn't changed in decades. So we're dealing with this 85,000 cap. And this year, with 780,000 registrants, there was about a 14% chance of getting selected in the system. This is so devastating for individuals who have invested time in going to school in the US, who have invested time into getting a job in the US, and find themselves at a dead end because they have not been selected in this process. Equally as frustrating for companies that have invested in training individuals who come from US universities who are foreign, who they bring outside, they want to bring from outside the US, who have specialized knowledge in a field, and they feel like they want to hire them and bring them to the US. So there was an increase this year of 61% into this lottery system. This means that despite the economic downturn that we've been hearing about, companies are still hiring foreign nationals in STEM and business fields specifically. So given the fact that only 14% were selected and hundreds of thousands were shut out, it's important to understand that CAP-exempt H-1B work visas are an option. CAP-exempt H-1Bs are not subject to the annual lottery, can be filed at any time of year and approved in a fairly quick timeline because premium processing is available for 2 weeks of processing time. And it has the same qualifications and benefits of an H-1B work visa, meaning you can travel on it, meaning a spouse is eligible for an H-4 visa, meaning you can work for a company as a full-time employee or a part-time employee. But it must be sponsored by a CAP-exempt organization. Congress deemed that there were 4 types of CAP-exempt organizations in the US that can always sponsor H-1B work visas. These organizations, Congress said, add value to US society in a unique way. And the 4 types of organizations in the United States are universities, government research institutions, nonprofit research institutions, and nonprofits affiliated with a university. These 4 types of organizations for their employees can sponsor CAP-exempt H-1B work visas. Open Avenues Foundation, Jeff and I started a 501c3 nonprofit that is now affiliated with 10 partner colleges and universities across the United States. And 2 more are about to be affiliated with Open Avenues. So we have a growing number of universities in our network that make us as a nonprofit a CAP-exempt organization. Not all nonprofits are CAP-exempt, but those that are affiliated with universities and those that are research organizations do qualify to sponsor their employees. So as a foreign national, you can always work full-time for one of these types of organizations and get sponsored for a work visa. But we know that many of you have employers, have companies that you want to go work for or are working for that are not one of those 4 types of organizations, and you have not been selected. So what now? How do you leverage the CAP-exempt H-1B? Well, in the United States, if you work part-time for a CAP-exempt organization, working those 5 hours per week, contributing to the school, contributing to the nonprofit organization in your role, and are contributing to the US in that capacity, then any US employer is able to also file a CAP-exempt H-1B work visa for that same individual. So Open Avenues Foundation, for example, files 5-hour per week CAP-exempt H-1Bs for all of our global talent fellows in our program. And all of our company partners who really want to keep a foreign national working for them, they can file a concurrent full-time CAP-exempt H-1B for that same foreign national who works 5 hours per week in our program. And this is called the Global Talent Fellowship. So it's an immigration solution for international innovators, experts, and entrepreneurs. This can be done for your own company that you are starting to build careers in the United States while training US students within your field. So we've worked with more than, we currently have actually 80 fellows in the program. We have a 99% approval rate, and we've trained more than 600 students at our 10 colleges and university partners. The way that this works at a high level is that Open Avenues partners with companies that want to keep their foreign national employees. So there's for example, a biotech company in Boston, Massachusetts that has a scientist that they really want to keep and they are looking for an immigration solution. They will nominate a foreign national for our program. Open Avenues hires foreign talent into our program, our fellowship, and has them training US students at our partner schools to help students gain relevant industry skills and prepare for career. And then we're able to even connect those students back to our company partners and make sure that companies are not just retaining the foreign nationals who are who they are sponsoring for Cap-Exempt H-1Bs through our program, but also gaining access to a pipeline of students who are coming through the Open Avenues Career Development Programming. So the fellowship program is an opportunity for foreign nationals to be hired and to work for Open Avenues for 5 hours per week remotely via Zoom, and to lead what we call micro internships, which are 8-week projects, 6 to 8 week projects that give students real world work experience in your field of expertise as a fellow. We have our fellows hosting workshops, helping with skills building materials so that students can actually really learn what it's like to work at a company. This is an example project on this slide from one of our fellows who was a scientist at Dino Therapeutics, one of our partner companies. And Nishith launched this project for students that was a really exciting exposure for them to understand some of these complex molecular biology type work that she's doing on a day-to-day basis that students who are studying biology might not understand some of the intricacies of unless they were working in industry. So it's a great experience for students. And you can see a quote on the right-hand side from one of our fellows who's participated in our project saying that not only did she get the visa, but actually it was a really great leadership and management skills development experience for her, leading students through these projects. So it's really about community building, finding support in the Open Avenues Fellowship Program, as well as getting a visa. The timeline for our fellowship and for sponsorship is as follows. We do a 2 to 3 week period of evaluation and contracting. This means that we go through an initial evaluation of your material, of a foreign national's materials, to understand if they are qualified for a Cap-Exempt H-1B or an H-1B in general. We're looking there. Do you have at least a bachelor's degree? Is your full-time job that you have with a company, does it require your bachelor's degree? Will you be paid the fair prevailing wage? And also we do a screening call to make sure that you understand that you're working with students for 5 hours per week, that you're training the future US workforce, and that you want to be part of that mission that we're on to train US students in these high growth fields. Once we do that evaluation, we accept candidates into our program if they're qualified, and we sign a contract with the company. Foreign nationals cannot apply for our program directly. It does require us having a company partner sign the contract with us and support the fellowship program. The visa petition process takes 4 weeks to put together that petition, and we file with 2 weeks of premium processing, which takes us to about a 6 to 8 week period. And then once we get an approval, employment starts in our fellowship program. And immediately after we get an approval and you start in the program, any full-time US employer that is also wants to sponsor your Cap-Exempt H-1B can then file their concurrent petition. That just has to be filed for you to start working for the company. It doesn't even need to be approved because of H-1B portability. So it's a very quick process. For those outside the United States, you need to go get a consular, do consular processing, get a stamp on your passport. So for our foreign national in the room who's from Canada, once you get an approval on a Cap-Exempt H-1B with Open Avenues, you go to the US consulate in Canada and you get a visa stamp to enter on a Cap-Exempt H-1B. And as soon as you enter, that is when your company can file a concurrent Cap-Exempt H-1B for you. For eligibility, this is very similar to requirements for H-1B, but we have a few other components in here. So you have to have that bachelor's, master's, or PhD. And this is anything above a bachelor's degree. This obviously includes an MS or BS in a STEM or business field. We work in a variety of fields, and this is one of the more commonly asked questions, like which fields do you accept fellows in? We have fellows that are in cybersecurity, software development, data science. We have fellows who do molecular biology, who are bioinformatics. We have individuals who are marketing, operations research, business intelligence, a wide variety of STEM and business. We even have some urban planners. Any space where we feel like we can train US students in that field, and we will be contributing to the universities that are trying to connect their students to jobs, this is a field in which we are comfortable hiring foreign nationals into our fellowship program. You must have work experience of some sort so that we can demonstrate that you are an expert in the field to our students, or that you are an employee of a company and can be representing that company to the students who you're working with. Your OPT work can be included there. We love to see that there's experience mentoring or working with students, working with peers. And it is required, as I said before, that you have a job or an offer from a US employer that is also related to your field of study. You don't just get approved for a Cap-Exempt H-1B with open avenues and you're automatically qualified with another company. You have to be qualified for an H-1B with open avenues and qualified for an H-1B with the full-time employer that will be filing a concurrent visa. To be qualified for that H-1B, I know we talked about this briefly at the front, but your work, your job description must require your degree that you've earned. So a good case is, I'm going to be a software developer at XYZ tech company, and I have a degree in software development or computer science. A more challenging case is, I have a degree in English and I want to be a software developer. There's not really a tie that shows USCIS that your degree was required to do this job. It would be a bad case. We would not accept that fellow. Business is a very general field, and we get a lot of folks who have a business degree, especially a BA in business is a challenging degree for an H-1B if there wasn't a focus on a specific field, because business, entrepreneurship, these are not specialty occupations in the US. Marketing is a specialty occupation, finance is a specialty occupation, and so is operations research. So there are categories within business degrees that can be leveraged for an H-1B, but you have to have a concentration of courses. So if you haven't finished a degree yet, please consider creating that concentration. And that US employer that you're filing with must be willing to sponsor the concurrent H-1B visa. So for process, an employer can nominate you on our website, where there's a company page, and an employer can fill out the nomination form. Once a company nominates a foreign national, we schedule a consultation with the company, and the foreign national can attend that. And then we start an evaluation on the eligibility for the foreign national to join our program. If you are a foreign national and you want to give materials to your company to evaluate this opportunity, you can go to our website and request information on the Global Talent Fellowship page. If you fill out the form, we'll send you information to give to your employer. The company is responsible for all fees associated with the fellowship. So there's an initiation fee of $18,000. That includes the initial Cap-Exempt H-1B visa that is filed by Open Avenues, government filing fees, and premium processing to get a response in 15 days of filing the visa. This also allows us to work on the initial scoping of projects and putting together that fellowship program. Every single fellow we file a 3-year Cap-Exempt H-1B, but you are only in the program until you have another solution, as long as you need to be. So after those 6 months of the initial minimum in the program, a foreign national might exit because they win the next lottery or they have a green card that is processing. So we charge a quarterly fee for fellows who stay in our program, and this supports our ongoing educational programming. We actually are paying students stipends to complete projects with Open Avenues, to complete career development programs. And so this allows us to continue operating that educational program of the foundation. And then the last piece is not a fee, but it is in the agreement, and it's called a salary share. We essentially are taking 5 hours per week of salary that we have to pay a foreign national fellow out of the total base compensation a company offers. So a company doesn't have to increase salary or pay Open Avenues an additional fee, but they will take out a portion of the base compensation offered to an employee, and it will be sent through Open Avenues and paid to the employee that way. So a foreign national fellow receives their total base comp, but 5 hours per week comes through Open Avenues. So we have 80 foreign nationals in the fellowship right now. We've had more than 79. We've had more than 100 partners total work with Open Avenues. And there was we are growing quickly. There's 63% increase last year. We're on track to have that same increase this year. And our fellows come from all over the world. It's a really exciting community to be part of. We bring fellows from abroad. We have fellows coming from 18 states around the United States. So it's a great community. It's a growing community. And we're really excited to be able to offer this pathway for foreign nationals who need an alternate solution. So again, for companies who want to nominate a foreign national, you can go to our website. There's a way to nominate right on the company page. And then for foreign talent who want to show companies about this opportunity, we don't meet with you directly, but you can absolutely fill out the inquiry on our website and you can get more information to give to your employers. You can also connect on email. My email is danielle@openavenusfoundation.org. And you can connect me directly to your employer and we can schedule a call that way as well. I am going to open this up to questions and stop sharing here. So if anyone wants to hop in and ask questions, you totally can.
Hi, Danielle. I have a question.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I joined late, so I might have missed this. But as far as I understand this correctly, if I want to get a fellowship through Open Avenues, I will have to have you connected with my current employer, right?
That is correct. Yes. Okay. The employer will nominate you for the fellowship. Okay. And we would talk to the employer about the opportunity for you to work 5 hours per week for us in this program. And we talk about the pricing with them. I talk about, the benefits to the company. And then we, discuss moving forward with that partnership. As a foreign national, the best thing you can do is facilitate a conversation between me and the company.
Okay. And say like this would be a non-Cap-Exempt H-1B. But if I then receive an H-1B through my employer via the lottery in upcoming years, then I don't have to be anymore in that program, right?
Correct. Once you are selected in the lottery, your company is able to file a regular H-1B for you, and you can exit our program as soon as that is approved, or as soon as October 1st comes around and you are counted against the cap.
Okay. And worst case, if I'm still not selected in the lottery for the upcoming years, then I can still stay in the program. Like, can that be extended after 3 years as well?
That's a good question. And the answer is yes. It has never happened before, but it is totally possible. We do file a 3-year Cap-Exempt H-1B. We could extend it another 3 years to give more status if needed.
Okay. Thank you so much. And just a request, can you please also drop your email address in the chat so that I can have it?
Yep.
Thank you.
Mary, to answer your question, you cannot get approved with a Cap-Exempt through Open Avenues and then take that status to another employer and then leave Open Avenues. To maintain Cap-Exempt status in the US, which is not counted against the cap, you have to be employed actively by a Cap-Exempt organization. That was made very clear in a memo that Congress put out in 2016. So all of our fellows have to stay in our fellowship for as long as they need a Cap-Exempt H-1B solution, and they exit our program when they are selected in the lottery or get a green card or are preparing for an O-1 or there's another solution. Daniela, do you have a comment? I thought you came off mute.
Yes. Hi. So you mentioned before that the company needs to be willing to sponsor you, and you put the dollar amount of $18,000 and then 3,800 for each quarter. On top of that, how much does the company need to pay to sponsor you?
Yeah, it depends. So every law firm across the US has different fees for that concurrent visa. Some law firms charge, $1,500 if they're doing high volume. Some law firms charge $6,000 for an H-1B. So it really depends who your company uses for a lawyer.
Okay.
Our law firm charges $4,000 for anyone who's in the OA program. And then there's filing fees on top of that. So you don't have to file premium processing on that concurrent visa, which is nice. You save $2,500 of what you would need to spend because you can start working right away once the petition is filed.
Okay, I understand. And another thing I saw on your LinkedIn comments were that it also works if you're starting your own company.
Yes.
How would that work?
Yeah, so in general, in the United States, you can have your own company sponsor your H-1B. So if you are starting your own company, you're an entrepreneur, you can definitely sponsor yourself, quote unquote, yourself. But you have to set the company up appropriately and you have to have the right controls in place. So to briefly go over this, if you want to sponsor yourself for an H-1B work visa from your own company, you have to have control over the company must have control over your employment, meaning you shouldn't own more than 50% of the company. The company's board should have control over hiring or firing you as an employee. The company must have enough funds to demonstrate that you can pay the fair wage. And there must be an employee-employer relationship with at least the board to manage the employee. So all of that has to be demonstrated. And if that can be demonstrated, then the company can file an H-1B for you as a founder.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question? Argyas, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name appropriately. You said, do you also support green card filings? We do not. We don't file the green card. Only the full-time employers are filing green cards. And then, the individuals can leave our program as soon as that green card is filed or approved.
What would the travel situation look like if we were to get a non-cap exempt H-1B from Open Avenues and still have a full-time employer who is willing to put our name in the lottery? Can we still travel internationally?
Yes. So when you are on an H-1B with Open Avenues, as soon as you're approved for an H-1B in the United States, you can travel freely as long as you get a visa stamp on your passport. So if you are approved in the United States for a change of status from OPT to Cap-Exempt H-1B, that means that you will, next time you want to leave the United States, you must get an appointment to get a visa stamp on your passport. Once you have that visa stamp, you can travel completely freely back and forth to any country.
Okay. And in this case, the visa stamp would be with an Open Avenues, right? And then I would still have an employer, the other full-time employer. So I'm just concerned, would that still would it be a problem when I'm traveling back if I have a stamped H1 from Open Avenues?
It will. So first of all, when you get the H-1B approved with Open Avenues, you can either do that visa stamping quickly, and yes, you can enter into the US with just the Open Avenues visa stamp, or you can wait for your company's visa to also be approved, which could take, weeks, months, we don't know. But once their visa is approved as well, you have the option of doing Open Avenues or the company on your visa stamp.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Anyone else have any questions? I'm going to put my email in here right now. Nothing else? That means it must have been clear.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Okay, wonderful. Great. So I'm going to send out the recording to everybody who registered for this meeting. I know it was a small group today. That was my error because I messed up the links. But I'm really glad you all joined. And if there's anything that we can get answered for you, please do let us know. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.